What's up, guys? My name's Dylan Zachary, and I'm a graphic designer and music enthusiast. Today we're going to be talking about creative blocks. Creative block is basically what creatives get when you want to create something or you're in the mood to create said thing and your mind essentially plays tricks on you. So creative block happens to me all the time, and basically how I get out of it, it all varies depending on my mood and what's going down at that specific time in my life. I'm sure everybody's got their own different ways of dealing with creative block and getting out of that funk. For me personally, creative block happens more often than I'd like. You just got to kind of find stuff that you're really passionate about and that you're inspired by to then take that and use that to get out of that funk. Basically, what I want to talk about in this video is just a couple steps, couple tricks, couple tips of how I get out of my creative blocks, and hopefully this can help you and inspire you to then, if you're in a creative block, you can also get out of that creative block. But first, before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps so much. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and it starts with you, and I thank you for being here and tuning in every week and watching my videos. We have videos every Wednesday, from graphic design videos, regular music reviews, just talking about music in general, because for me, I'm very passionate about music, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to design cool shit, talk about music, be on this cool ass journey with you guys, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming along and joining this journey. So let's talk about creative block. Like I said, creative block happens to me more often than I would like to admit. So I am a very creative person. I've made music in the past. I have music on Spotify under my BMO pseudonym name. I've written poetry books under my Dylan Zachary name. I play guitar. I'm now a graphic designer that I also went to college for, content creator. I've painted. I've drawn all my life. I'm not necessarily a good drawer, but it's still a creative outlet that I enjoy doing and still to this day continue to do. So yeah, creativity has always been a part of my life some way or another. Obviously, creative block happens all the time. More recently than not, graphic design and poetry specifically for me has been kind of rough. Editing videos is a huge part of the content creation side of things, and also creating graphic design based stuff for the YouTube channel for the content. It's been a very fun avenue to go down, but sometimes you hit them roadblocks and it's hard to get out of them funks to figure out what to do next or where to go next, especially in the content creation side of things. So now more than ever, the roadblocks have been coming up more than I've been used to. About the poetry side of things, when I last released my book in 2019, I self-published my second poetry book, Tales of a Typewriter. And shortly after that, I realized that I wanted to make another book, but I needed to live life a little bit longer before I could then release and publish another package of poems. I get a lot of DMs all the time about, when is my next poetry book going to be released? But I had a lot of creative blocks that came up over the years, with that poetry aspect side of things. There was a lot of creative blocks that I needed to work out for me first before I could then dive into going and creating something else for people to enjoy. And that's the hardest part with the creative block side of things, is that when you're creating this, you want people to enjoy it. And sometimes the engagement isn't there, and it kind of puts a damper on yourself and kind of makes you get in your head and makes you think or overthink. And art is just about self-expression and just kind of doing your own thing. And at the end of the day, one of the biggest steps in not having creative block is not really worrying about what other people think. For the poetry side of things, I now, almost 5 years later, am working on another poetry book. And the creative blocks are still there. I just got to make sure that I don't rush it and to not do it for people, but to do it for myself. That's the biggest thing. As of recently, I went to a coffee shop, read aloud my poetry for the first time on an open mic night. That was a different experience for me altogether. I performed on stages and stuff like that before for my BMO side of things, but I never read my poetry and let myself be so vulnerable and to read my poems in front of a crowd of people before. And it was eye-opening, and that kind of that gave me the spark to then go and create more poetry. That fire built up inside me again to be like, okay, maybe it's time to do this once again. As to where 5 years earlier I felt like I didn't live enough and I didn't have enough experiences to then create another book for people that wanted that book at that time. Anyway, with all that being said, it's basically just doing what you want to do is one of the biggest things to take away from it. Don't do what other people want you to do. Stay in your lane and focus on yourself, and that's one of the biggest tips I can tell you for creative block. Do it for you, and that's all that matters. Another tip is go outside and enjoy nature. For me, being outside is such a huge part of me as a person. I get a lot of inspiration from being outside in nature, going on walks, going on hikes, just being outside, smelling the fresh air, seeing the trees, watching the flowers grow. I mean, it sounds corny and cliche, but it's true. Going outside and just breathing the fresh air, it enlightens you, it opens you up, it makes you think a different way, it makes you feel a different way. Still on the cusp of wintertime turning into spring, So this is the perfect time where things start to bloom and grow. So you need to take that in and also bloom and grow. Yeah, so being outside is a huge part of me and getting my creative flow back on track. Tip number 3 would be, honestly, listening to music. Music is a huge part of who I am as a person. Going out, going to concerts, enjoying time with friends and family. Going to concerts is a huge thing for me because it's such a stimulative thing. You know, hearing the music, seeing the people. Right now, I'm on a huge legacy kick because a lot of these older people are older and getting up there in age, and they're not going to be around or touring as much as they used to back in the day. I'm at that good age now to where I can afford to go and be a part of this stuff and see this stuff. So while these guys are still out there kicking it and doing it, I want to be a part of it and I want to see it. And it's such a stimulant for me. And then I can go home, take that inspiration and take that creative flow and then put it into my work. And now with graphic design, because obviously I'm trying to go in the graphic design music formatting of things, it's inspiration. I mean, I can go to a concert, that's an outlet for me, and I can go and check out the merchandise and I know a lot of the creators that probably have created this merch for this person that I'm seeing. So that's the inspiration right there. I'm a person who loves parking lot t-shirts. Yes, it's not supporting the musical artist directly, but for some reason, creation of a parking lot t-shirt, the bootleg side of it is a huge creative outlet for me. So I love going and like hanging out in the parking lot and tailgating, like I said, with friends and family. That's a stimulant, but also for the creative side of thing, I like parking lot t-shirts and seeing what people create because every concert has a different style parking lot. And obviously inside the venue too, those t-shirts, and if I like the design, I will support the artist. Seeing their designs and what they're promoting, that's a creative outlet for me also. But anyway, that's another tip that just helps me get the creative side of things going. Another tip number 4, is just taking time for yourself. We all need it. Sometimes, especially in the graphic design field, you're just constantly on a workflow. You're just like, I want to get this done. I want to get this out. You know, you want to get that logo done. You want to get that social media ad done. You want to get that t-shirt done. You want to get that album cover done. It's just a constant workflow. You know what I mean? You know, we have lives. Some people have children. I do not have children yet. I have 2 cat children. The biggest thing is you got to take time for yourself. You know, read a book, play some games, go outside for a walk. Like I said, go to a concert, hang out with friends. Just take time for yourself. You know, it's kind of full circle with everything I said previously, but like, it's just take time for yourself. It's truly a big thing that you need to do. It helps you. It helps cleanse your mind. And that's the biggest thing. It's just cleansing your mind and, you know, greasing the gears, if you will. You got to grease the gears up inside. So tip number 5 in the creative block outlet is do something that you've never done before. Go travel. Go to a place that you've never been before. Even if it's an hour away, go to a little town. Go check out a little coffee shop. Go to a thrift store. If you've never painted before, pick up watercolors. Start playing around with that medium. Try something different. Even if you absolutely suck at it, the fact that you tried it and you did something new, the whole goal of this whole creative aspect is to try something new and to spark new things inside of you. That might inspire you to then go and design one of your best pieces you've ever designed. It might make you want to try another medium, and maybe you'll start woodworking, or maybe you'll, you know, mess around with pottery or ceramics. I mean, there's so many creative fields out there. It's just basically just being inspired and continue to being inspired. Inspiration is the key to this whole creative thing. So yeah, those are some tips and tricks to keep away creative block. Obviously, this works different for everybody. Everybody's their own person and depends on the individual. This is just some stuff that works for me. These are just some simple tips and tricks, hopefully help you in your future with getting rid of creative block. I'm kind of curious of what you guys do to get rid of creative block. Everybody's got their own method to their madness, so I'm kind of curious of what you guys have to say. With that being said, I thank you so much for joining me and tuning into this video. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope your creative block flies away and disappears forever, because creative block ain't fun, man. But go try something new. Maybe go cook a meal or something. Go tell someone you love them. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. With that being said, peace. Be sure to subscribe because it helps out so much. Tell your friends, tell your uncle, tell your aunt, tell your cousin, tell your best friend.